Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are taking a look at SteamWorld Heist. It's a game that's been out for a while, but it's finally out on Nintendo Switch, and that's the version we're going to be taking a look at today. SteamWorld takes place in the SteamWorld world. You're a cowboy robot named Piper, flying through space, boarding enemy scrapper ships, and relieving them of their treasure. This one is a turn-based strategy game, so it's a little bit like XCOM, Civ, and Banner Saga. So when I started playing this game, I kind of got the feeling that I got when I played Awesome Knots for the first time. It was that 2D MOBA type game. Had all the elements, but it's just a little lighter type fare, a bit more fun. Whereas like SteamWorld Heist has all the elements of a turn-based strategy game, but it's wrapped in this like more lighter, faster moving style, which I really liked. So this is a game that's just dripping with style. It's very colorful, has great art, great character design, really great music. The gameplay is tight and fun. I love that shooting and hitting enemies doesn't come down to a percentage. Headshots are headshots, not like in XCOM where you can literally be inches from the enemy with your gun pointed to his head and you miss. There's nothing more frustrating than that. This game adds little, your aiming has your gun kind of like bounces up and down a little bit as you're aiming. So that's kind of like a little bit of randomness. And if you time it right, you should always hit. But I've noticed that in the heat of the battle, sometimes I just biff it and just end up missing. So there's an element where it's like it feels like it's your fault when you miss, not so much that the random number generator screwed you yet again. You can bounce bullets around the screen and hit enemies at angles behind cover, which I thought was a lot of fun. And unlike XCOM, where battles could just seem to kind of last forever, battles here in SteamWorld Heist, they move pretty quickly. You're able to move characters around the screen at the same time to flank your enemies, and there's a really high, let's play just one more feeling to this game. Levels are, I think, procedurally generated, which I think adds like a nice level of replayability. There's always a good flanking routes and exploding barrels to hit and, metal barrels to hide behind for cover. And basically each level is you going through a different enemy ship, taking out the enemies, and relieving them of their treasure. At the end of each level, you go to an end screen where you unbox the loot. And I think there's like a little random element to what's going to be inside the crates. So sometimes it's gear, and sometimes it's better weapons that you get to use on the next one. So we are playing the Nintendo Switch version. I tried this out on the TV. I tried it out handheld with Joy-Cons, and I was surprised to see that there's a very solid touchscreen interface. You're able to move around and aim using only the touchscreen, which is great. I didn't dig into it too deep because I prefer the controllers, but I thought that was a fun thing to add in there. And it felt very smooth and very responsive. And I assume that's from the developers putting an iOS version out there, so they're able to take some of that over to the Nintendo Switch. This is really the type of game that I'd love to have portable. It's not like constant high action. It's not, we're not playing Overwatch where like response time is like super important and you need to be on your shit and your aiming needs to be super precise. This is the perfect game for that smaller screen when you're on the go. You can take your time, you can plan it out a little more, but it's still very fun. Like I felt like I was having a great game experience while I was playing this. Usually with turn-based games, I play them non-stop for about 3 weeks until I eventually get to the point where it's like the enemies are too hard, your favorite guy dies, you smash your controller, and I end up just quitting the game. I love the strategy of those games and I love playing them, but eventually, like especially with XCOM, something just happens and I just peace out. I couldn't do it anymore. There's no permadeath for your robots. You basically die and your parts get taken back to the ship to get rebuilt and used on the next mission. What you do get is you don't get 3 stars on the mission. And stars, from what I can tell, are basically your reputation. You collect and earn these stars. So there is a little bit of a penalty for dying, but it's not as extreme as permanent death and then going to get a new recruit. Look, I'm sure some people love that about XCOM games, and I do too, but not when I lose the guy that I've had the longest and is the most powerful to a random alien headshotting you when you miss, and it's just all that frustrating stuff. One thing I did miss, some sort of multiplayer mode on this could be a lot of fun, especially with, two players sharing the same Switch screen. Each of you has a Joy-Con. I think that's something that this new console, they could really take advantage of. That could be fun. For me, I think I'm not going to give it a score necessarily, but what I will say is it's a game that I feel like I'm going to keep playing even after I upload this review. which for me I think is a very solid endorsement. So check it out, guys. It's out on the Switch store now. If you watch this review and you go pick it up, leave us a comment. Let me know how you're liking it. Want to hear what other people think about it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. SteamWorld Heist out on Switch now. Peace.